Welcome to Web Development Part 5, Part 6. We're going to be doing mobile optimization in this video, worrying about screen width using built-in Chakra widths like small, medium, large. And there's always a good rule of thumb that I like to go by, and that is
Always optimize for mobile.
always optimize for mobile. Um, just like he said, we want to optimize for mobile because 65% of the traffic on the internet now is on mobile. So um, you're always gonna want to make sure that the amount of people is actually doing. So you actually want to have a good mobile experience because people are gonna be like, what is this garbage website? But let's get started. All you gotta do is the typical npm run dev in the terminal. Make sure you gotta open it in localhost. Also going to open up Chakra to go see how they do mobile thing. Actually, what is this mobile spinner? I haven't seen this before. Interesting. Mobile spinner. Oh, okay. I see. Okay. Um, so how do we, or why do we need, or let's say where do we put mobile optimization? Okay, we put mobile optimization when we have certain components that are too wide. Okay, so I'm going to guys give you an example. We actually have our old Pokemon. So let me actually put this. So we're gonna have a VStack. I'm gonna make this another. I'm actually going to wrap this inside of an HStack. So remember, HStack stands for horizontal. So the children will be stacked horizontally. So we're gonna add 2 children, and you'll see that they're gonna be on the left side. They should be the exact same, anyways. But let's give them set widths. So let's say this is like 600 pixels, and this is also 600 pixels. Okay. So you'll see that it will actually have a bunch of white space, and I'm gonna put some backgrounds so we're able to see it. So this will have background red, and this will be background green, so we can see the difference. Let's actually make this orange, because kind of doesn't match. There you go. Alright, so we have orange and green. So obviously these are not good colors, but they're just here for visualization purposes. You'll see that there's actually this empty space between them, and remember that's because HStack comes with a spacing property, and by default the spacing I think is 3, or I think it's 2 actually. Yeah, so the spacing property by default is 2, and if we want to increase the spacing between those, we can just add spacing 5. Spacing, I don't know, let's do 10 because I like that. Okay, so we'll see that we have a bunch of space here, and I want to center these. Okay, so to center them, let me show you all the boxes. So let me give an HStack a background of red, so you can see the actual HStack versus the children. So I'm gonna give the HStack a height of 1,000 pixels, so we can see a little bit more of the red box. Actually, let's do 500. I think 1,000 might be a little bit too much. Yep. So you can see right now it is automatically aligned on the y-axis, so it's centered on the y, but I want to center on the x. So to do that, just like before, I'm going to type in justify and an equals center. And so now all the children should pop up to the center now, and they are like this. So, for example, right now it looks fine on desktop. Obviously, the colors are not good, but the desktop experience is okay. You can see all the content. There's no extra scroll bar on the bottom. There's no like stuff that's getting cut off, right? So right now, if you're in the inspect tool, so if you open up the developer tool, which is what this is called, and you go to the top left, by the way, this works on Firefox and Edge as well, not just Chrome. If you click here on the toggle device toolbar, and you can see the dimensions responsive, there's a bunch of different things. So I think by default it should be responsive, but if it's not, turn it to responsive because that's what I usually like to do. I'm going to set the zoom to 100%. But now look what happens when we start getting to screen sizes like an iPhone X. Like, do you see what's going on? The content is squished. Okay, so say we had, let's make it even more relevant by typing four more. So we'll put background of yellow on this one and a background of this one will say black. Look at that. Okay, right now the desktop experience perfectly fine. You can see all the contents, all that, but once you go into mobile, you'll see that the content actually starts breaking. Okay, so the HTML is right here, but there's stuff that's off the page. Okay, so only 3 of them are showing up, and the third one is not even on the page. Okay, so how do we fix this? The fix is to see when it breaks. Okay, so you can see when I get to a certain point, this is when it starts breaking. So around 700 pixels. At 700, this is, by the way, the width. Here's the height. So about 700 pixels. In Chakra, there's I think the, what's it called? Media queries. Or I think it's built-in media queries. Built-in media queries Chakra. So responsive styles, that's what it's called. Okay. So right now, you can see that Chakra actually has what's called breakpoints, okay? And these breakpoints allow you to change certain stuff based on the width of the screen size. So, for example, okay, I'm going to just comment this out so we can see a working example. So I'm just going to do this real quick. Actually, that didn't work. I'll keep that out. So right now we have one Pokemon seeking. Okay. So we have this color. I want to change. Let's say like I want to change the background color depending on the screen size. Okay. So I'm going to put my zoom to 100% so I know exactly what I'm doing here. So inside the background attribute, instead of doing a quotation mark, we're going to be doing double curly brackets, and this is going to show, basically, we're going to be writing like CSS stuff or Chakra stuff in here. And what I want to give it is the base width, which is anything from 0 EM and upwards. If you guys don't know what EM means, this is basically a relative unit based on the font size. So the base EM, so there's base, small, medium, large, and XL. So we're going to put the base to green, okay? And on small screens, we're going to do orange. On medium screens, we're going to do yellow, and so on and so forth. So we'll get to large, and red, and XL to black. Okay, so you can see these are all breakpoints. So right now, not all of them are going to show. So currently, the black one showed, and that's because we're on a XL screen size. So if I go to responsive and actually increase the screen size of the thing. So let me actually refresh. I think it broke. That's weird. Why is it not showing the... I don't think it shows on there, but so I think I have to put this 50% and then increase it. There you go. Okay. So, oh, it's because it was red. Yeah, let me change that different color. Green. Let's do purple. Okay. So you can see anything after this like certain pixel size right here. It's like, I think it's like 1200 or 1300. Yeah, something like that. You'll see it's black. When we get to large screens, it's going to turn into purple. When we get to medium screens, it's going to turn to yellow. And when we get to small screens, it's going to turn orange. And then base screens, which is mobile, basically, like base screens are mobile, we get to green. So we can actually comment this real quick. So this is usually what these represent. So mobile, tablet, laptop, and then this is desktop, and then this is like 4K monitors. So if you guys want to just keep this real quick, this is always nice. This is a, don't follow this exactly, but it's a good starting point on mobile optimization. So for example, let's go to 100% again. Okay, and let's go back to our point where we had 4 children. Okay, so right now, desktop experience, amazing, right? Let's do this as black. That's orange. That's green. This is yellow. Okay. So these are 4 different boxes. And what I want to do is inside of this H stack, I actually want to set the flex direction. Okay. So the flex dir or direction controls how the layout is done. Okay. So in our H stack, if I set the flex direction to column, actually, I think it's just, we'll do flex direction like that. So if I set the flex direction equal to column, you'll see that the stuff gets to be on top like of one another. So let me set the minimum height here to 500 instead of a set height, so it doesn't have this broken effect. There you go. So you'll see though that every other what's it called, type of children here is like shifted to the right a little bit. Okay, and that's because that's the spacing attribute or property that's getting given. So if we go to the H stack, which is, this is what the H stack is, you'll see that there's 4 children. You'll see that on the left of them, if we go to the computed box model, on the left of them, you'll see that there's margin on the left that's 40 pixels. Okay, so if we go for this one, this is 40 pixels of margin, this is 40 pixels of margin, this is 40, but you'll see this one has 0, and that's because the H stack, it works when it's in a row. So if we put this flex direction to row, you'll see that the spacing is actually just left margin on every child. So what we can do is have this as a breakpoint. Okay, so I want these Pokemon to be at a column at a certain width. So let's do base, or actually let's do let's do base column, and then base all the way up to small, and then anything higher than medium and higher will turn into row. Okay, so if we start actually shrinking, you'll see at a certain width they actually turn into a column, or a column up and down. But I want the same thing to do with the spacing. So I want the spacing to only apply if there's if they're in row things. So I want 0 spacing at base and then 10 on medium. So now you'll see that it should pop up where it's all aligned correctly, and there you go. So we have a little responsive layout right here. And this is the basis of all layouts that are responsive. They change the properties or certain things based on the width of the screen size. Okay, so when you have say some website like schoolsimplify.org, and if we actually click inspect, and you can do this with any website, you'll see that already these ones, they get too small and they turn into a row or a column. You'll see that the image here disappears at a certain width, and then the stats as well disappear. You'll see that this duck gets put. The text alignment is now center. There's a bunch of this. There is this one. The image gets put at the bottom. There's all types of stuff like that. And this works for like all websites. Like all websites use what's called media queries. That's what we're using currently, but we're using Chakra's built-in responsive layouts, which generate those media queries for us automatically. So that's the basis of mobile optimization, like changing the value of a certain attribute based on the size of the screen. So for example, just like that, just like how the screen was removing those displayed, or certain children or certain images were not being displayed, you'll see that here. Okay, so I'm going to show you something really quickly. In this VStack, I'm going to want to just pretend like this doesn't fit properly on mobile. What if I just wanted to remove all these things? Okay, what I could do is set the display property, which is basically how it's going to be rendered on the screen, to have a display of flex, because just like we're going to be using an HStack, so the default property for HStack is flex. So you'll see that nothing changes. But if we set the base to none and then a medium to flex, you'll see that it actually disappears. So when we get to a certain thing, it disappears. The same way that this would pop up and this would activate and this would activate, the display property starts activating. Okay, so that's the basis of mobile optimization. You can apply this to any Chakra component and even your own components that use Chakra stuff. I want you guys to actually start cloning certain websites. So for example, a good website to clone is the schoolsimplified.org website, because it will allow you to actually look at their own code, because their code is on GitHub. So if you scroll down to the footer, click on Made with Love by Passionate Developers, you'll see that the actual code for it shows up on here, so you can actually see how they did it. So we can go to pages and then index. You'll see that they're actually importing certain components. So the intro, let's go back here, paste this here. So the intro, this is the intro thing. You'll see that all the code for that is right here. There you go. You can see the key to your educational success. They also use Chakra. You'll see the key to your educational success, and you'll see that they actually do have a display property. So base none, medium block. So that's for images. And stuff like that. So you'll see that there's all types of things. Obviously, do not copy the code, because you're not going to learn like that. But that's how there, if you get stuck, or if you want to see how they did it versus how you did it. But you should try to make a layout similar to this and actually start building your own website, building your own content, whatever that may be, like a little food blog, or maybe something you're passionate about, like exotic rocks, whatever you want. But implement mobile into it. Start implementing your chakra knowledge, start implementing your positioning CSS, because that's the best way to learn. Make mistakes and learn. Other than that, I will see you guys later. In the next video, we will be learning about chakra theme. And then the very last video, we will actually start deploying our website, so we can go to a specific URL and you'll see the website. Other than that, I will see you guys later, and good luck.